Hello, I'm Thuli Magubane, and welcome to The Success Rate, where we talk about success and people's journeys to success. And as our byline says, there's no such thing as an overnight success. It is truly a journey, and everyone's journey is unique. And joining us today is a lady I love very much. She's my big sister, Sis Khosi Nyezi. She is a businesswoman. She's also a pastor. Some of you may know her as a fashionista. She's one of the most stylish women I have ever met. And today we get to know a little bit more about Sis Khosi and her journey to success. Welcome, Sis Khosi.
Thank you, my beautiful sister. Thank you for having me. Greatly appreciated. You make me blush.
It's only a pleasure. And I should let you know that this beautiful outfit I'm wearing today is by Just K, a brand that was started by Sis Khosi. So it's one of the things that we're actually going to talk about later on. So Sis Khosi, I think you're an all-rounder, if I could call it that. You know, you've had a long journey, long career, started off in HR. But you've done so many things since then. So maybe let's start off with the first pivot. When you moved away from what you studied in tertiary, you studied HR, and then you found yourself in a totally different industry. Maybe tell us a bit about that and how that change and pivot came about.
Okay. I'll start by saying, I was exposed to business at a younger age.
Yes.
My parents were all in business. They were entrepreneurs.
Yes.
My uncles, my aunts. So at an early age, I was really exposed. Even before I was aware of what was happening, my dad had a driving school. And later when I was aware, he had a funeral undertaker. And my uncles had supermarkets in the township where I come from, and liquor stores, and. So for me, I grew up in a family where,
It's quite entrepreneurial.
Yes, entrepreneurial, and most of, in my family, they've never worked for anybody. They've actually had their own businesses since then. Even today, others, they're still running their businesses. So I went to varsity and I did something totally different. And when I came back from varsity, I worked for the former government, which is the Mpumalanga. It used to be Kangwane government.
Okay.
So after that, when the new dispensation came on, and I worked as a PR for the Minister of Environmental Affairs and Tourism. And then I was transferred to a Joburg office, which I was handling the corporate marketing. And after some time, I think then the department, they decided that they are relocating back to Nelspruit.
Okay.
And at that time, I was already married, and I couldn't
You couldn't
go
see
back.
yourself going back.
I
Yes,
couldn't see
yeah.
myself going back home. And a friend of mine, the reason I'm telling this story is so that people can have an understanding of how I went into business. And I didn't plan to go to business. A friend of mine, when I was looking, for employment, and I was not getting what I was looking for, and she said to me, "Why don't you try recruitment?"
Yes.
And to be honest, I was not an HR person. I was more marketing. Can give me anything, I'll market it.
Yes.
So she said, no. I said, but I'm not an HR person. She said, but I'll assist you. So she assisted me. And then I started a recruitment agent called Isimbi Placement. And Joburg, being Joburg, Gauteng, people will always give you a chance. They always give you an opportunity to prove yourself. And I did that, and I did quite well. And then one time when I was visiting one of the prospect clients, which is one of the SOEs,
Yes.
and my younger sister used to work there. So I wanted to know what were they doing in that particular business. And I was referred to their BE department. And the boys that I met there, I always say there's these two boys who will always feature in my testimonies.
Yes.
Temba. And they said, "Oh, Sis Khosi, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do." And I went back and did exactly what they sort of like suggested to me. And After that, I started an electrical engineering company.
Which is quite a shift from marketing to PR to recruitment to electrical engineering. And it's a very much male-dominated industry. So how did you maneuver and grow a business within such a male-dominated industry?
I would say I was fortunate enough in a way that when I met those two young men, they actually also gave me a list of companies that I can talk to,
Yes.
who they can sort of like hold my hand and walk with me, because it was something totally different that I've never been exposed to, never done. And I made a few calls, but I couldn't get hold of all the people. But there's this one gentleman which I managed to get hold of him.
Yeah.
And he was in fact willing to work with me,
Yes.
to show me, you know, how to do certain things, telling me which kind of bodies I need to register with, which I did that. And you know, we put an advert out there looking for electricians, looking for engineers. I mean, people are always looking for employment, and people applied.
True.
And
Yeah.
that's how we started. And, you know, he sat with me on those interviews. And, you know, we employed people. You know, I had one gentleman, Ubab Matlang, who will always feature as well in my life story and testimony. Ubab Matlang, I started with him, and up until when he passed on.
Yes.
And he is with me for many, many years.
Yes.
Yeah, so I say to people all the time, you don't need to be a doctor to own a hospital.
True.
Because what you can do is that you do your part, and you employ doctors. And the doctors
do
will
what
they're
doctors do.
supposed to, yeah, what they've been trained at
Yes.
university to do. So it's the same principle which I find like your Discam is using. You know, they have employed quite a number of pharmacists which don't own the business, but you know, the business go on. So that's the same principle that I took on my electrical engineering company. But it doesn't stop there, because the gentlemen and the ladies that we employed, they taught me.
Yes.
Because I was the one who was going out and looking for business. I'm the one that will go and do the presentations. But over and above, I went back to school and you know, and learned to be an electrician. So I'm a
Yes.
qualified electrician as I'm sitting here.
You know, have you ever seen a more finer electrician? No, because you can't judge a book by its cover, you
True.
know. So we talk about success. So let's take it there. What's your definition of success?
I think success means different things to different people.
Yes, yeah.
For others, it means they've reached a certain level of financial stability. To others, it might be, you know, a certain status in the society. To others, it might be, you know, professional achievement.
Yes.
But to me, success, it's more to that.
Yeah.
Not that you don't need a financial stability. You do know that. Everybody knows that.
True, yeah.
And that is why many people, we're working so that we are able to have the money to pay for the bills.
Yes.
And to have access to things that we will not have access to if we don't have money. Basic things like education, you know, like health. We can name quite a lot of things that we will not be able to access if we don't have money. But for me, success is more than that. It is, you know, knowing why you are here.
True.
The reason and the purpose of your existence. That's what, for me, is success. And knowing who you are.
Yes.
Because if you know who you are, then it will be easy to identify and know what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, what fulfills you. So that is what success it is to me.
Yeah.
I mean, success can be even, you know, tackling a certain project and you fail.
Yeah.
And tackling another one and you succeed. That's success, because you're not sitting and not doing anything. You know, that's success for me.
Sounds great. And I guess also with success, people tend to equate it to material things. And a lot of guests have mentioned that it's really not only about the material things. And I think more than anything else, it's the relationship you have with material things. So for you, how has the journey been? You know, you start off, you get into business, and then suddenly you succeed, and then you now have access to things. How do you manage that and still remain who you are to the core and don't let it change you?
As we have said,
Yeah.
that money is just a tool.
Yes.
It is a tool. So if that tool lands to wrong hands, it's going to be used to amplify wrong things.
True.
If the
Yeah.
tool it's landed in good hands, it will be used to change lives, to better
Yes.
people around you, their lives. So it depends, where, it lands, because money is just a currency that we all use and we all need, because even if being, at church, certain things you won't be able to achieve. You won't be able to reach other people if you don't have money.
True. Yeah.
Even though people say, maybe at church, people must not talk about money. There is no way that you cannot talk about money, because the equipment that you need to use, you need to be bought. You need money. Many things that needs to be done, to be a blessing to people, you need money. So it's a tool and it's a currency, and depending where it lands, it can be used to amplify good things, or it can be used to amplify
Okay,
bad
the
things,
bad.
evil things. Yeah.
Yes. And some people may not be aware, Sis Khosi is also a pastor. Hence, she's talking about church. So, how have you managed to marry the two? You've been in business for a long time. And being a Christian, people always talk about going out there into the marketplace and dominating. So, how have you been able to do that?
I think it's very important, because I know many times when you talk about business and ministry, and you talk about money in church, a lot of people are a bit scared to talk about that, because they're scared of the backlash, and also how people continuously view the church and also view the ministers of the gospel. So for me, because I'm in business,
Yes.
and I cannot separate the two, because that is who am I. I'm a Christian first before I'm anything. And, I'm always conscious of, what one needs to do, in ministry and also in business. And also, we've seen throughout, even in the scriptures, is like, where we've seen people being in business. So, and we need people in business, so that we're also able to be financiers of the kingdom of God. I don't know if
True.
I've answered you correctly.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And they always talk about the importance of following your passion in business. And I would assume that Just K is one of those ventures where you followed your passion.
Yeah, I think so. It's something that I never planned, and I find myself doing, and it's something I'm passionate about, something that I love.
Yes.
And for me, I think Just K, it's more than also making money. And I'll tell you, most of the time, with Just K, I do and design things and clothes, also to be blessing to other people. And it's something that just comes naturally, and more than just the clothes, like the dress you're wearing and also what I'm wearing. It's one of Just K's, and also do like suits for men, which I think I'm more sort of like shifting towards right now, because I think men, they are sort of like straightforward. They just want a suit, they
And it
just
must
want
fit
pants
well.
and jacket, and they are tailor made.
Yes, yeah.
And a lot of guys who are in business, entrepreneurs, we do quite a lot for them, and also a lot that goes for Durban July.
Yes.
Mostly guys, we do their suits for them and outfits.
And what about dressing for success? What's your view on that?
I think dressing for success, it it depends. What is dressing for success to each and every person.
Yes.
Dressing for success to me might be wearing, the kimono. Dressing for success for somebody might wearing a suit, which is a jacket and a skirt or pants. So I think it's just you need to dress comfortably, and you need to dress in a way that, you feel this is who you
Yeah.
are. If you're being relaxed, you know, you just dress the way you feel, because I think as South Africans, Umadiba changed the whole
the
thing.
Madiba shirts.
The Madiba shirt, because Madiba, as far as I can remember, only a few occasions where we've seen him in a suit. But he'll go to these meetings with all these head of states in those shirts.
Yes.
So what is dressing for success? It's according to that person, that individual, how they feel and how comfortable they feel to dress in whatever they're dressing. But obviously there are certain things that I cannot show, or somebody cannot show to a boardroom meeting with hot pants.
It may not be appropriate.
Yeah, it will not be appropriate.
Yes.
But I think we all have, as Christian, we say everybody's got a spirit inside them. And there'll be something that will tell you that this is not right. So we should be able to listen to that inner being, and that you've dressed properly for whatever occasion that you are going for.
Okay. So let's get deeper into our conversation. So not only are you a business woman or pastor, you're also a wife, you are a mother. How have you managed to balance all the different roles that you have and just make sure that you succeed in each of those roles?
I'll say I am blessed to have a family that supports me, and from the beginning, there's never been any competition in my household.
Yes, yeah.
My husband is a businessman in his own right, and I'm a businesswoman, and sometimes one's business is working, the other one is not. So if the other one is not, the other one need to support the other one.
Yes.
So we've never been in competition. Instead, we know that we complement each other, and we need each other for our businesses to succeed. When I get home, my roles, they change altogether. I am not the director of a company. I do what I need to do. I
You're
become
not the
a
boss
mom.
lady.
I'm not the boss lady. I became a mom. I'll serve my husband. I always laugh because my younger sisters will know that there's a tray that I use to serve my husband, and I put a flower when I serve him.
Yes.
So that for me, it's not that anybody that has told me that I need to do. I've decided, and I've been doing it over the years, and nobody told me. But it's a way of me saying, I'm here to serve, and to serve him in a way that I think it is it's good for both of us.
Yeah.
So when I get home, the roles changes altogether.
And then your role as a mother?
My role as a mother is to help my children to be the best of who they are and who they want to be, and also to instill in them
Yes.
that they need to have a relationship with God,
Yes.
have a relationship with the Holy Spirit, and once that it's put in place, it's easier for them, because in any challenge
Yes,
that
yeah.
they'll face in life, they know who to go to, because we live by the scripture of Matthew 6:33, which says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you."
Yes, yeah.
So it is very important, not that, before you embark on any project, before you embark on anything, that you present your matter before Nkulunkulu. You present it before God.
True.
And then from there, God will be able to give you wisdom. He'll be able to guide you.
Yes.
He'll be able to direct you. And I'll also try and make my children aware that, the Holy Spirit live inside us. And, so if something from the inside of you, it's not in agreement with what you want to do or the step you want to take, then you know that then this is not for me. So that they are sensitive to the inner person that lives in the inside of them, because each and every one of us, as long as you have allowed Christ to come and live inside of you, we all have the Holy Spirit.
Yes. You're watching The Success Rate with myself, Thuli Magubane. Become part of the family. Make sure that you subscribe. Hit the notification button so you know when new episodes are loaded. And don't forget to comment. Let us know who you want to hear from, because we've got a whole lot of guests that we want to invite. And we want to make sure that we invite people that you want to hear from. And of course, don't forget to share your own journey to success. And what principles have you instilled in your children? I think obviously the spiritual and the relationship with God would be almost the foundation. And then what other principles have you instilled in them or passed on to them to help them to succeed in their own journeys into whatever they want to explore in life?
What I've instilled in them is that nobody owes you anything in life. So hard work, whether they are students, you won't just pass if you haven't put time, studying, you haven't put time in the work that you're supposed to do. So in life, you just have to work and go for what you want, because nobody owes you anything, and things won't just happen. Nothing just happens. So you have to work hard. I've instilled hard work.
Yes.
Above anything. And I've instilled, never look at any project too small for you. Whatever. You start small, if it means you have to clean the room, that's where it starts. You clean that room.
True,
never look at any job, any task too small for you. Never look down as well on anything. Never look down that is beneath you. You start small, you learn quite a lot when you start small. Then from there, you're able to handle even bigger projects. Even with people, never look down at any person, because that might be the connector to your biggest break. So you respect everyone you come in contact with. We treat every human being with respect, whether young or old, whether from what family they come from. It is very important, because that can be that person that God has sent your way to connect you to a big break.
You never know. There could be one step away from that individual you need to meet. And along the journey of success, there's failures along the way. And I guess also being an entrepreneur, we come across a lot of challenges in our journeys. So how do you deal with failure, or how have you dealt with failure?
Yeah, it's true. I've had so many failures. I've had so many failures in life. I mean, challenges in business, challenges in relationships, challenges everywhere. But, what I normally do when I'm faced with a challenge is, to face it head on, because you cannot run away from it. I've had challenges in business where a contract was suspended, and it just came as a shock. When my team went to pick up material, and they were told that your company has been suspended, so we can't give you this material.
Yes.
The first thing that goes through one's mind is that, but what have we done? What happened? But I always get strength from God. It hit you, but I went before God and I prayed, and I got the wisdom to be able to to go and brief a lawyer, because as a human being, you do also do things that you need to do. Even if you're praying, you don't pray and just sit and wait for things to happen. And I went brief the lawyer, and we went for a meeting, and they realize that they've made a mistake. You know, so we have had quite a lot of challenges. You know, I don't know any South African that have never had a challenge with SARS
Yes.
when we're in business. So I've had
Yes.
challenges with SARS,
Yes.
and you know, so it's part of business, but one grow from those challenges, and those challenges shouldn't actually make you give up.
True.
In fact, when one is faced with challenges, that's the time that you have to dig in your heels and face it head on and say, what is it that I need to do to correct this situation that I find myself in? And many a times when one is faced with challenges is because then you do even better than the past.
Before. Yes, yeah. And what have been some of the highlights in your journey?
My highlights.
Or certain achievements that you're proud of? And you look back and you're just like, wow, I can't believe that's me.
The highlights, my highlights has been, in fact, you know, going into business and into starting the recruitment business with no experience in HR, and in fact, I did well.
Yes.
And also, when I started my second business, which is the electrical engineering business, in fact, I used the finances from the recruitment business to start this one. I never had to go to the bank to
borrow
loan,
money,
to
yes.
borrow money to start my business. I used, you know, the money that we made on recruitment to start this one. And this electrical engineering business is one of my highlights because, in fact, we did very well and with
And
no
especially
background.
a woman-owned business.
Yes,
yeah.
a woman-owned business in a male-dominated industry, and we did very, very, very well.
Yeah.
You know, so that's in fact one of my highlights because looking back, I couldn't been able to do the things that I'm doing now. Could I not have started this electrical engineering business? And also, you know, it just showed me that I am able to start something from scratch and let it grow to be a big company that will compete with big companies.
Yes.
So that's my highlight, and that you can start any business from the scratch, and you'll be able to succeed as long as you do things right, as long as you perform. Because for me, it's, if you're given an opportunity, you need to make things right.
So just keeping on that train of thought, that if you're given an opportunity, you need to perform. And it's a big problem, I guess, that companies face, and even, I guess, government and SOEs, that a lot of young, especially black entrepreneurs, we have a sense of entitlement. We must be given these opportunities, we must be given funding. And then people then don't perform. And for some reason or the other, the contracts get terminated. So besides performing, what are some of the, principles or even formula that you have found in business has worked for you? So obviously performance is one. What would we say are other things that young entrepreneurs can also tap into to make sure that when they are given those opportunities, they're able to succeed as well?
I will say, firstly, you need to understand the industry that you are in. If you've been given a project, maybe in electrical or in construction, you need to understand the business.
Yes.
You need to learn more from people that have been doing this business before you. Number two, you need to understand pricing, because many times a lot of people, that what makes people fail when they're doing project is pricing.
Yeah.
People are not pricing it well. People are rushing just to get a contract, and while they are inside, in the middle of the project, they realize that they're not making money.
And they run out of money.
Yeah, you run out of money because you're not making money.
Yeah.
And you underpriced, the project. You underpriced the job that you needed to do because you just wanted to get the job. I always tell people that I'm in business to make money.
True.
if I'm in business to make money. I'm not in business to subsidize.
You're not an NPO,
Yeah.
a non-profit organization.
That's it. I'm not here to subsidize the SOE that I'm doing business with.
Yes.
So if it's not making any business sense, then I don't go into it. I mean, I've done quite big projects. I won't mention the SOE here, but, because we always want to make sure we perform. Because after we've done certain projects, we need to be signed out. They need to sign that we have done everything that we have done. And I mean, we're called in because we know that we're a woman company, and most of the buyers, the commercial department, they used to get incentives because they've given certain jobs to women company. And not just only women company that will perform, that will do the project and complete it. So people will, in fact, look for us to do the project. But the thing is that then when we have given that chance, you need to make sure you perform.
Yes.
You need to make sure that your pricing is correct. Because if we haven't priced correctly, you won't finish the project. And I've seen many times a lot of people, they just submit proposals just for the sake of submitting so that they get, because they are the lowest.
Yes, yeah.
And they haven't studied that particular field to have an understanding that what it is that I need for me to be able to perform as I'm expected.
No, that's so true. That the importance of pricing. I think it's a lot of businesses actually struggle with that. So the other thing that I wanted to ask you about, I mean, being in this male-dominated industry, how did you deal with, I suppose, comments, sometimes the perception that you as a woman, because I think there's also that perception that we as women, we give out favors to get the jobs. Dealing with that.
I think in my case, I never had such to say that we've been given favors because we had to do certain things in order to get the projects. Like I say that the commercial, department, the buyers themselves, they were in fact looking for more women because for them using black women companies, they were incentivized because they were meeting certain quotas when they were doing that. But the thing is that even when you are working there, some of the project managers, they're like, oh, it's a women company. But I used to challenge them and say, yes, it's a woman company, but the people that are doing the work, they are men.
True.
Mostly are men. So am I the woman that goes into the boardroom and negotiate and present? But at the end of the day,
you're still empowering men.
Still empowering men as well, and also women, because like I said, I had to go back to school to be a qualified electrician because what I realize is that when you only employ certain qualified people come with an expectations. Those people that are employed, because people know that they have certain certificate that you need for you to register with certain bodies in that particular field. Then people come with expectation. They want shares in your company. So I realized that for me to cut that, I have to go back to school so that I have my own qualifications. I've got on my own certificate. So people that are employed, they are employed for specific jobs, for whatever they have to do. Yes, I mean, after I've been to school, I didn't have to do cabling. I didn't have to do tubing, but I needed to go through that particular training because I had employed people to do that.
And you need to understand what they're doing.
Definitely. And when you have an understanding, it's even easy to do the pricing.
Yes.
Because you know exactly what you need to do. You know exactly what are the certain things that you need to do before you do certain things. So it's very, very important to have an understanding. Even before I went to school, most of my team members, they taught me.
Yes.
They work with me because I'll go on site. I'm not the person that will sit in the office. I'm a person that goes on site and stay with my team there, encourage them on site. Sometimes, go buy them lunch, just to encourage them and to show people that they are important. And I always tell my team members that we need each other. I don't come with the mentality that, I'm doing you a favor. No. I need them because I won't be able to dig the trenches in order to lay the cables.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
need somebody, even the lowest person that needs to dig the trenches, somebody that needs to dig is very important, because my qualified electricians and engineers, they won't be able to dig. For them is to connect to the transformers, to do whatever electrical work that needs to be done. So we need everyone. So my team know that everyone from the lowest person, they are all important, because there are certain tasks that we won't be able to do if certain tasks are not done.
Done. Thank you. I think that's so important, in terms of giving that advice to young entrepreneurs. Another point that I'd like to just explore with you is the ability to express different parts of who you are as an individual. I mean, as I mentioned, you're a pastor, and in business as well, you've done different things. So how have you managed to change and pivot into the different types of businesses that you've done?
Like I said, I think that's who I am, and every project that I tackle, I'm first an entrepreneur,
Yes, yeah.
and I always go into a project, nobody goes into a project wanting to fail. We all want to do a project and do it well and ace it.
Yes.
But I'll tell you that there are things that I've done in my life that never worked. And then I'm one person that if something is not working, I quickly move.
You don't get married to the idea.
I don't get married to an idea. I always have what is it that I can do.
Yeah.
Even at this point in time, I'm running quite a number of businesses.
Yes.
So I'm not only focused on one. So if one is lagging, I push the other one. So I've even sold boerewors. Even right now, I have a takeaway business in the heart of Sandton,
Yeah.
where we're selling quarters. So I'll never look at any business as small, because even though you selling quarters, even though I've sold boerewors,
Yes.
that little money that you make, it will help you, and you can use it as a stepping stone to do even something big.
Thank you very much, Sis Khosi, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you, getting to know a little bit more about you and your journey to success, and also just being a brave woman and tackling a male-dominated industry head-on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Much appreciated.
If you've enjoyed the conversation with Sis Khosi and you want to hear more of such conversations, make sure that you subscribe to our channel, like today's episode, and comment below. And make sure that you share with some of your friends as well. Encourage someone who wants to pursue a career in a male-dominated industry. Make sure they watch today's episode. They'll definitely be encouraged by Sis Khosi's story.